Several years ago, my stepmom passed away, and my dad wanted me to be a pallbearer. And so, as we're taking the coffin out of the back of the hearse, we're walking towards the gravesite. I'm this scrawny guy that doesn't have any muscles, and I'm at the front of the coffin. So, as we're going towards the gravesite, those little metal things that they have, that, that the stand that you can put the coffin on top of. So as we're approaching that, we lift her up just enough, but I'm so weak I can't lift the front up. So as we're lifting up, my hand slips. We almost dropped her in the hole before she was time. My wife likes to accuse me of being immature. I told her, fine, get out of my fort. Years ago, someone had stole my mood ring, and I don't know how I really feel about that. Every Wednesday I love taking my grandmother to the grocery store. This time, and I'm the one that usually, pushes the cart and she gets the stuff and puts it in the cart. This time, she's standing in the produce section and she farts. My hand's over my mouth and she's looking at me like, as she's waving her hands in the air, don't make a big deal about it. I looked at her and I said, Grandma, I'm not the one yelling, don't make a big deal about it, while I'm waving my hands. My mom is hard of hearing. And when she finally got her first set of hearing aids, my stepdad and her, they ended up going down to a grocery store and they decided, they were standing in an aisle. As they're standing in the aisle, my mom passes gas. She had a look on her face of embarrassment. She turned around and looked at my stepdad and goes, honey, have they always been that loud? My dad looks at her and my dad looks at her and said, yes, dear. I was at Walmart and I was standing in line waiting to buy something. As I'm waiting, there's this heavy-set lady in front of me. Now, she was wearing white pants, okay? I will never find myself dead in white pants. But she decided to wear white pants. As she's bending over, she has this big old brown spot on the back of her pants. So what I thought I was actually thinking in my head, I apparently said it out loud. And I said, uh-oh, she pooped. Question Erica's sister Star thinks she might have just found the answer. My best friend loves to fart. And when my best friend farted one time, I looked at him and I said, oh my God, you just farted. And he said, I don't do that. And he said, even if I did, they would smell like roses. And I looked at him and I said, yeah, dead roses. A buddy of mine had told me that he did not know that women farted until he had two girls of his own. My buddy stopped by to pick up his girlfriend. And the girlfriend gets into the front seat and, she goes, oh crap, I forgot something. So the boyfriend was being nice and got out of the car and went inside the house to get what she forgot. While she's waiting, she lifts up her left cheek and she farts. She turns around and looks and sees that there's two people sitting in the back seat. You should see the look on their faces. My mom likes to talk a lot about when I was conceived back in 1977. Apparently, my dad and her were in the back of a taxi, and they were stuck in an accident. So while they were waiting, they ended up having sex in the backseat of the taxi. She loves telling me that story and says, oh, you were conceived in the back of the taxi. I look at her and I got my fingers in my ear going, Mom, I don't need to know that. So I was driving down the road with my stepdad, and my stepdad looks out front of the windshield and says, oh, there's a fork in the road. I turn around and I look and I say, where? I'm looking for a real fork that was laying in the road.